Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, it's been some time since we talked about the Grand Tour. In fact, the new Amazon Prime show is now to episode 5, at least as the taping of this particular program. And of course, with Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond, there's always going to be some sort of controversy, and a couple of little deals have shot up over the past couple of episodes. One of them being a state of censorship, as one of the episodes, the three lads actually taking 3 Land Rovers and rebodying the machines. One of them, being Jeremy Clarkson, actually covered his in animal carcasses. Well, this apparently made Amazon Prime actually censor this program in the country of India, as that wouldn't really play well there. So there might be the possibility that this show could be trimmed down as much as 30 minutes from the show that possibly you and I actually got to see. Now, the trick of this is there's a lot of reports for and aft. Some saying that this isn't happening, some saying that it's absolutely happening. So we'll have to wait and see if some clarification on this particular story. Another situation that's been going on is apparently Mr. Clarkson, who's usually at the center of a lot of the controversy, in a little run at a totally separate joke, said something that got some people upset. Who is surprised about that deal? Remember the episode where Mr. Richard Hammond was actually stuffed in the back of an Audi TT for, like I said, an entirely different reason altogether. But one statement that Mr. Clarkson said when he said this would be a great way of smuggling people inside of the country, yes, that got to be a little bit people upset. So, you know, albeit it's not too big of a deal, we've only had 2 kind of situations that have been going on for this particular program. The third thing, and I know I said there was only 2, the third thing is it seems to me that there's a little bit of, well, the honeymoon may be over with a lot of automotive outlets. All the automotive outlets that were claiming this was the best program they had ever seen after seeing the first episode, now kind of fallen out of love with this program. Seen a lot of reviews of later episodes that weren't nearly as kind as the original ones were. Next up on the list, back to car stuff, we'll talk about this. This is the brand new Lucid Motors EV. I know they really haven't come out with a real name for this machine, at least as of yet. Now, this vehicle will be making its official debut at the Consumer Electronics Show in just a handful of weeks' time. Now, the vehicle comes with everything that you would ever want in an extremely, strikingly beautiful automobile, including voice-activated infotainment system. It's got a connectivity right through your smartphone where you can do a lot of the options right through your old phone, whether you're right in the car or you're miles and miles away from it. Full autonomy, talking about level 4, level 5 autonomy, and full active safety systems that are in most automobiles, especially the high-end machines. The other little situation apparently is the performance of this machine, which apparently is pretty mind-blowing. Over 1,000 horsepower they're talking about out of this electric vehicle, and 400 miles of range, which will end a lot of folks' range anxiety. And another little situation that may have a peek of where they're going to sell this vehicle comes from the rear seating arrangement, including these executive-style seating, is Lucid Motors is actually calling it, with 55% reclining, which means these things recline way back. And also, there's some pretty interesting bits and pieces in there. Fold-out tables, touch screens everywhere. This really is a vehicle that you're probably going to want to be actually driven in rather than to be driving itself. So it'll be real interesting once we get to see some real official details, hopefully coming up at CES. Next up on the list, well, we're going to show an aerial shot of a particular airfield that you guys all know and love for a long, long time. But apparently this airfield may be no more. And I know you're already saying, wait a minute. Don't you talk about cars all the time? And what are we talking about an airfield for? Well, hang with me. I will get to it here in a minute. This airfield possibly could be no more, where it may become a housing development. This stretch of land is actually in England near Surrey. Yeah, you might be getting a little bit of it. In fact, the part of the land that you and I know and love for a long time in the circled area is a section we've seen on the telly for a long, long time, over 15 years. This particular airfield is the Dunsfold Aerodrome. Yes, 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 this is the old Top Gear track. Now, this has been an open airfield for a long, long time, but a certain section of it has been the actual track where all the lap records and the reasonably priced car segments have all been taking place. Well, apparently this may be no more, where this stretch of land may actually become a housing development, is actually voted 10-8 in a local council meeting to do just exactly that. Now, if memory serves me right, which I certainly don't have the world's greatest memory, in fact I have a memory like a crack baby, there was a situation where this deal was done before, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but then somehow got reversed some way, shape, or form. This could be a situation where this all-new Top Gear, the, I don't know what you even call it now, you can't call it 2.0 after the Clarkson May Hammond area, now that we're actually out of the Chris Evans era and into an all-new era, that this new program has actually been shooting as we speak. But could they have ditched the entire track altogether? Could they have ditched the airfield, the air hangar that they actually did a lot of the programming in as well? This could remain to be seen. This is an interesting story that I'll be following. We'll let you know if we hear any more about it. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.